What's up, you guys? This is Chris Rukov for Hand of the Week. Before I start, I just want to encourage you to smash the like button and subscribe. A lot of a lot of people who view those videos are not subscribers, so please do subscribe and hit the notification bell. With that said, I have a few hands sent to me by a viewer, and let's go and review them. I don't know what's going on this morning. So the question of this viewer here is, should you call the river with that hand? He also says here, I did not 3-bet because a few times I 3-bet this player and he folds, which I don't know, with aces kind of seems like a weird thing to say. So we got open from under the gun. You do 3-bet. I don't understand why you thought that you don't, but so he limps, he raises, and you 3-bet. I'm not sure what you're referring to that you did not 3-bet him. You did 3-bet. That's 10-0 as far as I can tell. Obviously, we are deep, but only versus this player versus the rest of the players. We have a normal stack size because their stack is normal. So we got cold call razor. Generally, those are like actually the usual stuff that people open with, like suited connectors, pocket pairs. I highly advise not to call it like king queen or king jack or queen jack, things like that, because you're fairly often very dominated. All right, so we're just again the big blind. Queen, queen, 8, rainbow. Big blind checks is a good board. The more queens are out there, the less queens he has. He decides to check back. I am not sure I'm all on board with that check back here. Maybe you decided here that because there's 2 queens, if he doesn't have a queen, he's gonna fold, and if he does have a queen, he's gonna call, which we kind of let him catch up on the turn. I get it. I'm still gonna down bet here, you know, something along the lines of, you know, 85 cents or something like that, just to put more money in the pot. I have aces. I'm fairly sure he doesn't have a queen. Not that I'm saying that he never has a queen, but more often than not, he does not. And that's the reason why I would choose to down bet here. I mean, I'm not just gonna miss a bet just because. Turn is a 3. He bets $1.70, which is a fair bigger sizing. Not sure how to read that here. Generally, set of 8s kind of feels like this player did not take enough value on the flop, so now he's trying to catch up. This is 2/3 of a bet if I'm calculating correctly. So yeah, here the question is, if we call here, what do we do on the river? Again, I don't see anywhere that you did not 3-bet somebody. You don't have a chance to 3-bet on the turn. But we expect him to barrel river again. So if we expect him to barrel again and we think that we're not gonna call on the river, then you can just fold here. But again, why don't you just bet the flop and keep the initiative? Because now you're bluff catching basically. Which, I mean, it's not bad. It's just the sizing is what throws me off a little bit. Generally, that big sizing is, you know. Now, if you decide to call here and call the river, that's perfectly fine. You basically bluff catching, like I said. And you give him a chance to bluff. Fairly high sizing, man. That's 4/5. That's 80% pot. But, you know, generally, people will bluff with higher sizing. I don't know on those levels, 10-0. You should have more knowledge about how players are on those stakes, but given the hand played out like it played out, I'm just gonna call. And if he has set of 8s, he does. If he has, you know, queen 10, queen jack, some shit like that, good. I mean, it is what it is. At the end of the day, he might have something, ace queen maybe. But if he has missed, and if he had missed, and if he decided to bluff, he would do it with kind of maybe that sizing. So I agree with the call at the end of the day. Well, you need to mark that player as a fish. Queen 9 is a way weaker holding. But again, let's review the hand real quick, because this one was fast one. After you 3-bet, I don't know why I didn't understand what you mean by I did not 3-bet. You did. On the flop, basically, all I'm gonna change in this hand is like that check back on the flop. I'm just gonna bet like 85 cents. If they have 10s, 7s, 6s, they should be incentivized to call. If they fold, so be it. And if they call on the turn, you basically can make a decision what to do. You might check back and bluff catch river. You might bet, half pot, and versus a raise, you know what to do. But there are easier ways to actually play the hand, is what I'm saying. All right, let's go and see the next one. Okay, so I just read, I'm not sure what, I just read he said, with aces, do you have call on the river here? Which he asked it again. And how about 3-bet on the turn? So you cannot 3-bet on the turn. I'm not sure you know what 3-bet means. This is just a bet. If you raise here, this is called a raise, or a second bet. Let's say you raise. If he re-raises you, that's called a 3-bet, is the third bet. And then if you re-raise him, it's a 4th bet, and so on and so forth. So you cannot 3-bet here. If you ask me if you need to raise here, I don't agree, because when you raise, what are you gonna achieve? If he folds, he doesn't have a queen, but you're not making money out of a weaker hand, and you want to make money out of a weaker hand. You know, the whole idea of raising here is to make him call with a weaker holding. He won't. And if you use the aces as a bluff, that means that you want him to fold a stronger hand, which in this case is a queen or set of ace, which is a full house, or set of trace, which is a full house. He won't fold. So raising here makes absolutely no sense. But yeah, this is not a 3-bet here. If you want to raise, it's just a raise. All right, let's go to the next one. For this one, all explanation we have is I tanked for a long time, but do you call those jacks? Well, some hands I noticed they're not full. Okay, we squeeze here. Sizing is great. Maybe I'll make it 99 cents. That's the only difference. Do we call the 4-bet here? Well, it depends on what your perception of the... Oh, he did call. It depends on what perception you have with this guy. You guys are deep. You know what I mean? You have $18, $19. That's almost 200 big blinds. This guy is just out of the question here. The cutoff is just... You don't really care about him. In this case, because you're deep, there are a few things you can do. You can call and play him as deuces, basically set or fold. You're gonna make the calculation. I'm not gonna go into detail and make the calculation if that makes sense. But you can do it by yourself. Basically, actually, I can make it real quick, I guess. 350 minus $1 is 250. So, does he have 7 times that amount? It was like $17, give or take. So it's close. I mean, it's slightly on the negative side. I'm saying times 7 because you're gonna flop a set 7 once every 7.5 times. So if every time you flop a set, you stack him the whole stack. So you break even if he has 7.5 times the amount that you need to call, and if he has more than that, you know, there's potentially money to be made, and that's considering you're gonna stack him off 100% of the time when you flop a set. Now, since you're not only against him, there's extra money here to be made. You know, there's $3.50 extra, there's $3 extra that can be made. So if you do flop a set and you stack this guy off every time, and this guy also comes along and you stack him off, then it's a slightly plus EV. But you need to know your big blind to know what he's doing that with. If he's a tight player, definitely, you know, think about not shipping here. If he's a loose player and you see him that he, you know, does some called for betting with some weaker holdings, I will gladly ship it here and play against his ace 10 or ace 5 or whatever he has. But in a vacuum, I'll take the easier route and just call here and see if I flop a set and see what develops post flop. Now, I highly think that you did not play out the whole hand, which is fairly annoying. Yeah, sadly, the viewers will not realize what you did after that and how the hand developed, and it kind of, you know, does. If you fold here, that's also fine. I'm not opposed to folding and just reducing the variance. Now, the only difference here is, or interesting thing about this hand is that you guys are deep. Had he been with just $10, it's just there's no point of doing anything else but fold, unless you've noticed that this player does some wide called for bettings. Other than that, if it's in a vacuum, I will not even bother. But here's kind of a borderline, I would say, to call and play for a set. It is very almost on the dot. Maybe combined, those two players have... Actually, let me calculate it. So we got the pot of 820 plus potentially $15.76 plus 305. Divided by $2.50, which what you need to call, you have 10 to 1. So it is more than 7.5 to 1. So yeah, there are money to be made, considering, again, considering almost 11 to 1 actually. Considering every time you flop a set, you're gonna stack him off and you're gonna stack him off, okay? Now, if he's not into the equation, basically it's not going to be almost 11 to 1. It's going to be closer to 10 to 1, maybe 9.5 to 1, which is also good considering that you know 100% for a fact that you're going to stack him up. For example, you know his side, so he has aces and kings, maybe queens. So if you flop a set on a jack high board, you're going to stack him off. Now, there's an argument to be made that there's reverse implied odds. Like if the board is ace jack 3, he has aces and you're done. Like there's no, you know what I mean? So it's a close spot. It depends how you want to play your game. I personally try to teach every micro stakes player to not increase the variance and inflate the variance artificially. If you can take the more passive line and focus on other hands that you know, they're not that marginal and they're not that close, make your money there for now. Later on, when you go to 25 and 0, you're going to have to face tougher decisions, but then you're going to have to know your opponents a little bit better, because now I don't have any information about the guy. If he, however, again, to repeat myself, if he, however, does things lightly, you know, with wider range, 3 bets, wider range, 4 bets, then I don't mind just shipping it here and see what he's going to do with his ace jack or ace 10 or ace 5. This guy we're really not concerned about. Alright guys, I think that's the episode for today. Again, please, if you don't mind, smash that like button. For my course members that already bought the course, I just want to congratulate you. The course will increase in price since I'm adding stuff to it little by little. So grab it now. For people who watch the videos, it's 30% off. I don't know how long I want to keep that promotion for, but so far I'm giving 30% off for the YouTube viewers. But the course price will go up. That's it for now, guys. Thank you for the support, and for those of you who subscribe and like the videos, send me hands on the contacts below, and I'll see you next week.